So good morning and welcome. So 1 hour, slow flow. We're going to work our way towards pigeon pose and some pigeon pose variations. And we'll employ a little bit of stability in those poses. We'll practice that throughout the class and we'll call on some extra stability as required. So nice metaphor for life. Sometimes we need to dig deep and find just a little bit more. So it would be useful if you had 2 blocks, and if you don't have blocks at home, then even 2 cans from your pantry or something with a little bit of height would be quite useful. However, if you don't have them, it's not the end of the world. Just a bit of a handy thing to have some height for a few poses. All right, so let's start. It's a little bit chilly as we are filming this, May in Australia. So let's start straight away in downward facing dog. And use your first downward facing dog simply to connect. Take a little pedal through your heels. Always nice to suss out how you are today. As you're probably well aware, some days you can feel like a little Tinkerbell, other days, sack of potatoes. So it's a nice way to work out which of that is going on for you and see if we can work with that throughout the practice. So in addition to pedaling through the heels, if that feels nice for you, bring your awareness to your breath. Again, suss out the quality of your breath this morning and aim for a sense of smooth and effortless. And you can lightly start to engage Ujjayi pranayama here. Slight contraction across the top of the throat so that you can hear the breath in and out. The mouth remains closed, breathing in and out of the nose with light sound. If you're still pedaling your heels, bring your heels to stillness now. So the only thing moving is breath. So start as you mean to go on. Take your gaze forward towards your fingertips and step your feet towards your hands, front of the mat. You can have your feet a little separated, about a fist distance between your big toes. With fingertips on the floor with straight or bent legs early in the morning, inhale, halfway lift, look forward, and then exhale, softly fold over straight or bent legs. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and softly fold. One more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and softly fold. So straight or bent legs are absolutely fine. Inhale, stand up. Press down through the feet as you rise up. Circle the arms all the way to the top. A light touch with the fingertips at the top. And then exhale, bring the hands down to your sides. And then circle your hands to your heart. Take a moment to connect again with the breath after some very gentle movement. And let's begin with some sun salutations. Warm up the whole body. Inhale, release the hands, circle the arms up. Exhale and fold, straight or bent legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, put the hands flat and crawl back onto all fours. Warm up the spine. Inhale, slide the chest forward, lift your bottom behind you for cow pose. Exhale, press through the hands, round the spine, look to your belly for cat pose. Again, inhale, slide the heart forward, lift your bottom. Exhale, press through the hands, lift the back of the spine upwards. Couple more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And this time exhale to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under, lift up and back into downward facing dog. Find stillness quickly. Bring your awareness to your breath. So breathing in and out of the nose. Very light contraction across the top of the throat. So listen to that beautiful sound that you're creating. Smooth, resonant breath. On your next inhalation, lift your heels up high, look beyond your fingertips, step your feet towards your hands, a little gap between your feet. Straight or bent legs, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and softly fold. Inhale, stand up, circle the arms. Very tenderly touch the fingertips at the top. Exhale, hands to your sides, circle your hands to your heart. Inhale, release the hands, circle your arms up. Exhale and softly bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Take a full deep breath in plank pose. Exhale, pop your knees onto the floor, lower your whole body to the floor. Undo your feet, bring your fingertips wide outside of the mat, as if you've got a tennis ball underneath each palm. Inhale, press through the fingertips, lift your chest up, feel the back of the neck very long. Exhale and softly lower your chest down. Inhale, press through the tops of the feet, tone around your knees as you press through the fingers, lift yourself up, feel the upper spine long, the back of the neck long. Exhale, engage the legs as you softly lower. Twice more like that. Inhale, use the feet, use the legs, use your fingertips, extend through your upper spine. Exhale and down. One more like that. Inhale, lift, open. Exhale and down you go. Keep the legs engaged. Slide your hands under your shoulders now so that your palms are flat. Inhale, press through the palms, lift up for Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Feel the mid-back, upper back, back of the neck long. And then exhale, softly lower yourself. Inhale, press through the hands, lift your bottom all the way up and back towards your heels. Tuck your toes under. And then exhale, make your way into downward facing dog. Find stillness quickly. Enjoy the feeling of the palms and the length of your fingers, your fingertips on the floor. Press down and forward through the hands. With that action of pressing down and forward, use that to lift up through the arm bones. Feel the whole spine lift so much that your seat rolls up towards the ceiling. With the seat lifted up, feel your deep belly muscles lift up. Explore the space of the pelvic floor. Gently lift the muscles of the pelvic floor up. And keep all that elevation as you breathe down the back of the legs, through the heels. On your next inhalation, lift your heels up, look forward, step or hop towards your thumbs, front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand up, circle the arms. Very tenderly touch at the top. Exhale, hands down, circle your hands to your heart. Third round, third variation. Inhale, release the hands, circle the arms up. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose. Take a full deep breath in plank pose. Exhale, lower halfway down this time, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, use the power of your hands to lift up and back into downward facing dog. Find stillness, use your breath. So moving forward for the next few variations of sun salutations, we have 3 options of how you'd like to take your lowering down. It could be the cat-cow variation, knees down and cobra variation, or plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog variation. On your next inhalation, lift your heels up, bend your knees, step or lightly hop between your thumbs. At the top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand up, circle the arms, reach all the way up, reach higher than you think you can. And then exhale, release the hands to your sides, circle your hands to your heart. Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B variation. This time bring your big toes together. Inhale, bend your knees into chair pose, Utkatasana. Reach the arms all the way up alongside your ears. Exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs any amount. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank pose or onto your knees. So your variation, you can lower down for cobra pose, upward facing dog, or cat-cow. Take it in your own time. Smooth back bend, whichever variation you choose. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. No sense of rush. And when you come back to downward facing dog, step your right foot forward between your thumbs, turn your left foot down, flatten it at an angle for warrior 1. Deepen the front leg, the bend of the front leg, and inhale. Reach all the way up, warrior 1. Very beautiful, tender touch of the fingertips all the way at the top. And then exhale, hands down, step back and lower, your choice. So cat-cow, knees down and cobra pose, or full chaturanga, upward facing dog, you choose. So no rush, just with your breath, and then meet back in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, step your left foot forward between your thumbs, turn the right foot down, flatten the foot. Inhale, keep the front leg bent, reach all the way up. Beautiful, tender touch of the fingertips at the top. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower down, take your vinyasa of choice, and then meet back in downward facing dog. When you do get back to downward facing dog, find stillness. Enjoy the power of your hands, the lift of your spine, the lift of your belly, the lift of the pelvic floor, the lift of your seat. Enjoy all the space through the back of your legs, all the way through the center of both heels. On your next inhalation, lift your heels up, look forward, step or lightly hop between your thumbs, big toes together as you land. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, lower your bottom, reach the upper arms by your ears, take your gaze up. And then exhale, press through the feet, stand up, hands to your sides, circle your hands to your heart. Second and final round, inhale, bend the knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale and softly fold, straighten the legs any amount. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back, your choice, cat-cow, knees and cobra, or full chaturanga dandasana, urdhva mukha svanasana. Meet back in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your thumbs, turn the left foot down, flat at an angle. Prepare for warrior 1 with strong legs. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower down, your choice. Beautiful back bend. Downward facing dog, just in your own time. From downward facing dog, step your left foot forward between your thumbs, right foot flat at an angle. Prepare for warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Strong legs, but a very tender touch of the fingertips at the top. Exhale, hands down, step back, lower down your way. And then just in your time, meet back in downward facing dog. Enjoy your breath. Enjoy some warmth in your body. Keep playing around with a lift, internal lift through your deep belly muscles, through the pelvic floor muscles. In this downward facing dog, just take your gaze between your ankle bones. And without tilting the feet, see if you can draw your inner thighs towards each other so that your inner legs engage quite a lot. But keep the feet very level, so don't tip to the arch side of your feet. So release that effort and settle back for a couple more breaths. And on your next inhalation, lift your heels up, bend your knees, step or hop between your thumbs. Big toes together. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale and tone the belly as you fold. Inhale, bend the knees, deep seat, Utkatasana. Exhale, press through the feet, release and circle your hands to your heart. Very nice. Separate your feet just a little. Initiate Utkatasana again with the feet apart, reach the arms up. And then keep your bottom low, bring your hands to your waist. Lift your right foot and hook your right ankle on your left knee like a pigeon pose shaped leg in Utkatasana. Carefully climb your hands down towards the floor. And this is a moment where you may want some height under your hands. So if you do want to grab blocks, pop them under your hands. Or if you've got other things, then option to use them here. All right, keep your bottom quite low towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. And now exhale, straighten your left leg and fold as deeply as you can with the legs still in the pigeon pose shape. Keep the left leg straight. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, press through the floor or your props. Exhale, lower your bottom as far down to the floor as you can so that your left thigh is possibly parallel-ish to the floor. Keep your bottom low. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, straighten the left leg, fold deeply. Stay in the fold. Inhale. Exhale, bend the left leg and lower your bottom as much as you can. Inhale, lengthen the spine, keep your bottom low. Exhale, straighten the left leg and fold. Stay here, inhale. And now exhale, lower your bottom. Take a deep seat with your bottom. That's the way. Last time to inhale, halfway lift in this pose. And now exhale, come part way out, release your right foot to the floor. Both hands on the floor or the props. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stand up, press through the feet, circle the arms all the way up. And then exhale, release your hands to your sides, circle your hands to your heart. Second side, so bend the knees, reach the arms up, Utkatasana. And then release the hands back down to your hips, bring your left ankle onto your right knee, pigeon pose shape. And then carefully lower one hand at a time to the floor or to your props. So get your bottom as low as you can. Nice feeling, hopefully. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine with your bottom low. And now exhale, straighten your right leg and fold as deeply as you can. Inhale here, smooth breath. Exhale, bend the right knee and lower your bottom as deeply as you can. Inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, straighten the right leg and fold. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, bend the right knee, lower. Inhale, lengthen the spine, stay seated. Exhale, straighten the leg and fold. Inhale right here. Exhale, last time, lower your bottom just as much as you can. Stay low, inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, come part way out of the pose, unhook the foot, put the left foot onto the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold as deeply as you can. Inhale, stand all the way up and reach. Exhale, hands to your sides, circle your hands to your heart. Big toes together. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Get your upper arms, lift them alongside your ears, take your gaze up to your fingertips. Exhale and bow, softly lower halfway, sorry, all the way. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank pose or to your knees. Take your vinyasa of choice, cat-cow, knees down, and Bhujangasana or Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. You choose. Make your way back to downward facing dog in more time. From downward facing dog, step your right foot forward between your thumbs, turn the back foot down at an angle for Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale all the way up. And now exhale, bring your hands down to your waist and organize your feet now for Warrior 2. So step the left foot back a little, widen your stance if you need to. That's the way. So inhale, straighten the front leg and reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And now exhale, bend the front knee back into Warrior 2. Look at your knee, aim it between the second and third toes. That's the way. And now inhale, reach the arms up again, straighten the leg. And then exhale again, aim the knee between the second and third toes. Hold that. Now bring your hands to your sides just for a moment. Just to bring some awareness to stability around the pelvis and inner thighs. So lift the right knee a little bit up, so not quite a straight leg, about halfway between straight and very bent. Engage the inner thighs, so draw the inner thighs towards each other. Activate the inner legs. Take a very small tilt of the front of the pelvis up towards your lower ribs, small movement. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Tone the muscles of your deep belly. So keep as much of that as you can, and now re-bend the leg, aim the knee between the second and third toes. Soften the shoulders. So inhale and straighten the right leg just a touch. Engage the inner thighs towards each other. Lift the pelvis up a tiny amount. Engage, lift the pelvic floor, tone across the belly. Keep that, and now bend the front knee as much as you can so the front thigh is coming roughly parallel to the floor, or thereabouts. Keep as much of that engagement as you can. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, bend your arms and catch your elbows at the top here. So we're going to hold this pose for a few breaths. So tune into your breath as a priority. Smooth, deep, regular. Enjoy the sound Ujjayi breath. Enjoy the openness around the chest. Enjoy the length of your upper back, back of the neck. Even feel like you could just rest your head back into the cradle of your own arms. And as you do that, play around with relaxing that engagement around the inner thighs, pelvic floor, belly, and then engaging it again. So inner thighs towards each other, very small tilt of the top of the pelvis towards the lower ribs, with the pelvic floor, tone across the belly, and then relax it again. So just in your own way, play around with it. If all of those actions are too much, pick one, maybe just the thighs, or just the pelvic floor, or just the belly. On your next inhalation, reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower the hands down, step back to plank pose or onto all fours, take vinyasa of your choice. Cat-cow, Bhujangasana with knees down, Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog, and then meet back in downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward between your thumbs. Prepare for warrior one. So place the foot down. Inhale all the way up. And then exhale, transition to warrior two. Adjust the back foot as you need to. So you may want to widen the stance. Move the right foot back a little bit. So inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. And then exhale into warrior two. Look at the front knee, aim it between the second and third toes. Again, inhale, reach all the way up. And then exhale into warrior two, careful with the angle of the knee. Stay here, bring your hands onto your waist. And now straighten the left leg somewhat. Draw the inner thighs towards each other. A very small, subtle lift of the front of the pelvis up towards your lower ribs. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Tone across your deep belly muscles. So draw those muscles back towards the spine and slightly up. Keep as much of that as you can as you bend the left knee a little bit more. That's the way. Hold the pose. Now circle the arms all the way up. Hold opposite elbows. Enjoy a few breaths here. Maybe feel the whole spine long, especially your upper spine, the back of your neck. Even feel the back of your head resting back into your own little cradle here. Deeper breaths than you normally get to breathe day to day. And then play around with the feeling of relaxing all that engagement through your center. And then engaging again. So things you can try, inner thighs together. Tip of the pelvis towards the lower ribs. Tone the pelvic floor. Tone the deep belly. All of those, or just one of those things, something to stabilize you. On your next inhale, release the arms, reach all the way up. And then exhale, lower yourself down, take your vinyasa of choice and meet back in downward facing dog, no rush. Inhale your right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip to the side. And now exhale, send your right foot through between your thumbs, this time for crescent pose. So we'll stay on the ball of the left foot with the heel pointing up. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up for crescent pose. And now exhale, lower the hands towards your hips. That's the way. All right. So lift your hips up a little bit, so not quite straight with the front leg, but on the way to. Just apply those same actions again with the legs in this orientation. So draw the inner thighs towards each other. It's more like a forwards, backwards movement. Lift the top rim of the pelvis towards the lower ribs, small, subtle movement. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Tone across the deep belly muscles. Keep as much of that as you can and re-bend the front leg as deeply as you can. And then straighten the back leg as much as you can. All right, so keep that. Inhale and circle the arms all the way up. And now exhale, bring the arms out in front of you so the arms are parallel to the floor, palms together. Stay looking straight ahead. Inhale, sweep your left arm out to the side, all the way towards the space behind you. And then exhale, sweep the hand back. Just as first one, stay looking ahead. Inhale the right arm, so yeah, do the right side, all the way back. And then all the way back to meet the left hand. So this time, if your balance allows, you can take your gaze with you. So inhale the left arm, possibly follow your thumb all the way to the back. Exhale, stabilize through the center, keep your balance. Right side, inhale, open. Stabilize inner thighs, exhale. One more time each side, so stabilize inner thighs, belly, pelvic floor. And then right side, inhale, open, stabilize through your center for balance. And then back you go. Strong legs, release the hands, nice big generous circle. Oh, just do it, yeah. Nice big circle all the way up. Can't wait to get out of there. And then exhale, hands down. Take a vinyasa of choice, or if you need a rest, have a rest now for a few breaths in child's pose. Totally acceptable. So make your way back into downward facing dog. And then left leg, inhale, lift your leg, bend your knee, open your hip to the side. Exhale, step through between your thumbs for crescent pose. So stay on the ball of the back foot with the heel up. Strong legs, circle the arms all the way up to start. And then exhale, bring your hands to your waist. That's the way. So draw your inner thighs towards each other. Lift the front rim of the pelvis up a little bit towards your ribs. Lift the pelvic floor, tone across your belly, and now bend the front knee as deep as you can, straighten the back leg as best you can. That's the way. So keep as much of that as you can. Inhale the arms all the way up. And now exhale, bring them out in front of you, palms together, arms parallel. So first, by looking straight ahead, right hand, sweep it out to the side. And then exhale, use your inner thighs, clamp them towards each other for balance. Left hand, inhale, sweep. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor for balance. This time, option to take your gaze with you. Right side, follow your thumb. Exhale, sweep the hand back. Left side, inhale, use inner thighs, pelvic floor, deep belly. And back one more time each side. Right side, open. Exhale, stabilize through the center for balance. Left side. And back. And now release the hands to your sides and circle the arms all the way up. Delicious. And then exhale, hands down, step back, vinyasa of choice. Or take a rest if you would like a rest. And when you're done, make your way back into downward facing dog. So again, right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip to the side. And then exhale, this time step it wide, so to the pinky toe, pinky finger side of your front hand, lower the back knee to the floor and come down onto your hands, your palms. That's the way. So not as low as you possibly could go. So with your arms as straight as you have them now, lower your hips where they easily go in this pose. This way. And then lift your hips a little bit. Engage to the inner thighs, draw them towards each other. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor. Tone across your deep belly muscles. And then lower your hips now back to your comfortable way. So it might not quite feel as delightful as you want it to here. We just play around with that. Option now to lower down onto your forearms, or you could put a prop under your forearms. So hold the pose and use this pose not only to open the inner thighs, open a little through the front of the back leg, but take another opportunity to play around with engaging through inner thighs, pelvic floor, belly, and then relaxing all that and just compare the difference. So in this pose, I personally love it by not engaging. It feels nice. However, it can be useful to engage in some cases, and we'll come to that shortly. All right, so climb your way back up. Stay on your left hand, and then sweep your right hand around. Lift your back foot up and grab the foot, the arch of the foot, and lower your hips again. Option to come down onto your left forearm, or you can stay elevated on the left hand. Just take a moment here to really stretch through the front of your left thigh. So you can choose, you can have your gaze and your chest facing down, or you could take more of a twist by opening the chest and the gaze to your right. Another opportunity to play around with engaging through the center and then releasing through the center to see how that feels for your body. All right, so lift your hips up a touch, release the back foot, hands down. So lift yourself part way up and shuffle the back foot in a little bit, and then just sweep the right foot along the floor all the way back to downward facing dog. There we go. All right, take a few breaths in down dog, even yourself up, left side, right side. And now inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. And then exhale, step it wide, so to the pinky finger side of your left hand. Lower the back knee to the floor. Stay up in your hands initially. Lower your hips where they naturally and easily go. And then lift up away from that a touch. And now engage, so draw the inner thighs towards each other. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor, tone across the belly. Keep as much of that as you can as you now lower your hips back to where they easily or naturally go. Lower onto your forearms or onto a prop as is appropriate for you. Hold the pose. So enjoy the contrast of just letting everything go and then play around with engaging again. See how that feels for your body. All right, so climb yourself back up again. So stay on your right hand, lift your left hand up, sweep it around, pick up your foot, the arch side of the foot, and lower the hips again with a little engagement as is appropriate. Your choice whether to lower down onto your forearm or not, or you can stay elevated onto your right hand. Chest and gaze can look down, or you can turn this more into a twist. Open up, breathe into the front side of your right leg, your right thigh. All right, so release the foot and the hands down. Prepare to step back to down dog. So tuck the back toes, lift up a little bit, and then shuffle the back foot in a touch, and then sweep the left foot back, downward facing dog. If you would like to, take a vinyasa here, cat-cow, knees down in a cobra pose, or a full plank, chaturanga dandasana, urdhva mukha svanasana, you choose. So inhale your right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. And this time we'll come into pigeon pose. So transition the right leg, so your right knee towards your right wrist, and bring the foot in close towards your inner thigh. That's the way. So you may want your props now, your blocks or any other things that you're using for some height. That's the way. So bring them in reasonably close towards your knees. So nice to have something under your left hand. You could even rest your right hand onto your own knee here. That's the way. So bring the left block back a little bit so it's in line with that there. Yeah. So press down through both hands. So one on the block, one on the knee, and see if you can get that nice lift through the mid-spine, upper spine, back of the neck. And here, play around with drawing the inner thighs towards each other. So your bottom will be lifted away from the floor here. Use your internal strength for balance and buoyancy. Inner thighs, see if you can roll the front tip of the pelvis just a tiny amount towards the lower ribs. Lift the pelvic floor. Engage across your deep belly muscles. Press down through your left hand a lot and play around now with reaching your right fingertips towards the ceiling. just the right fingers. Reach up through the fingers, press down through the left hand, buoyant through your center, balance through your center. So use your inner thighs, use the pelvic floor, use your deep belly muscles. One more big breath here, and then gently relax. Bring the hand down, pop the block aside, step back into downward facing dog. Hands down, lift your bottom up, that's the way. Left leg, lift, bend your knee, open the hip, and then exhale into pigeon pose. So left knee towards left wrist, left foot towards your inner thigh. So use one prop is enough here for your right hand, then climb your left hand onto your left knee. Press down through both hands, get some nice lift through the whole spine. And now stabilize here by keeping the hips lifted away from the floor. Engage the inner thighs, draw them towards each other. Lift the front rim of the pelvis a little bit towards the lower ribs. Lift the pelvic floor. Lift your deep belly muscles. Press down through your right hand. Option to reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. So really press down through the right hand, reach up through the left hand, and use all those actions through the center to stay elevated and buoyant. And one more big breath, reach up even more. And then very slowly and softly, down you go, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Exhale the right leg into pigeon pose. Bring your prop for your left hand. Climb your right hand onto your knee. So you're welcome to repeat what we just did, or option to press down through your right hand, the one on your knee. Bring your left hand in front of you. Sweep it towards the back of the mat and lift your foot, hold the arch of the foot. That's the way. So press down through the right hand, get very buoyant through your upper body. Use your strength through the center now. Draw your inner thighs towards each other. Lift the front edge of the pelvis towards your lower ribs. Lift the pelvic floor, tone the belly. Look to the side or turn your chest and gaze towards the front of your mat. Feel the upper back long, like in Warrior Two when you were holding opposite elbows. Imagine you're just resting your head back into the cradle of your own arms here. Take one more big breath here, and then exhale, release. And move the block, hands down, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. Exhale into pigeon pose. Grab the block for your right hand. Climb your left hand onto your knee. So again, option to stay here and just practice what we did at first, raising one arm up. Or get that elevation, get that strength through the center. Lift your right hand in front of you, sweep it gracefully behind you. Bend the back leg, hold the arch. So get that balance, get those actions, inner thighs towards each other. Roll the front of the pelvis towards the lower ribs. Lift the pelvic floor, tone the belly. Hold the pose, smooth, deep Ujjayi breaths. Feel the upper spine long. Feel like you're just resting your head back, like no big deal. Here I am, beautiful in my body, beautiful in my breath. Take one more big breath here, and then exhale, release. Hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. So keep your feet as wide as they are in down dog. Bend your knees so that your torso can rest onto your thighs. And now reach your hands up to your lower back, interlace your fingers. That's the way. And so feel the weight of your torso on your legs and lift your knuckles up and away from your lower back. Reach them towards the front edge of your mat. So for the first few breaths, keep the legs quite bent. Keep the weight of your chest onto your legs. Reach your knuckles up, reach your knuckles over. Enjoy some very beautiful opening around the very front of the chest and the shoulders. And option now to straighten your legs any amount. Lift the knuckles up, lift the knuckles overhead. Enjoy your spine, enjoy your shoulders, enjoy your hamstrings, enjoy yourself. Who else have you got to enjoy? Just you. All right, so release the hands back to your hips, back to the floor. Creep your way back into downward facing dog. And then inhale your right leg up, bend your knee, open your hip. And then exhale, pigeon pose, right side. Grab your block for your left hand. And then walk your right hand onto your right knee again. So again, option to stay here, practice the stability here. Second option, raise the right hand parallel to the floor, sweep it. Oh, sorry, not the right hand, the left hand. Sweep it around. This time hold the pinky toe side of your foot. Option now to lift your left hand as well and sweep it all the way to the other side of your foot. There we go. And now this is where you might employ a lot of stability. Inner thighs together. Roll the front rim of the pelvis up towards the lower ribs. Lift the pelvic floor, tone across the belly. Feel the upper spine long. Feel like you're just resting your head back onto a nice soft pillow. Press the foot back into your hands. Use your stabilizers for balance. All right. Now see if you can stabilize so much. Release the foot and circle the arms up all at the same time. Release the foot to the floor. There you go. And then down you go. Move the block. Downward facing dog. All fun and games. Hopefully enjoyable fun and games. Lift your left leg up. Pigeon pose, left hand side. Grab a block for your right hand. There we go. So you choose. You can stay with the first option we did here, stabilize. Or lift your left hand up. So we're using our muscles. So, I mean, it's nice to have a prop. You can use a prop, but we're using our muscles rather than a prop to stay stabilized. So bring your left hand, or which one? That one. Right hand. Sweep it, lift, hold the pinky toe side. Now really stabilize, inner thighs together. Reach back. There you go. So inner thighs, front rim of the pelvis, roll it up. Pelvic floor lift, deep belly muscles lift. If you've got the balance, press the foot back into the hands. That's the way. Lift the mid spine, lift the upper spine, back of the neck. Nice soft pillow is waiting for the back of your head because it's so enjoyable. Very nice. So see if you can stabilize so much that you can release the foot to the floor and circle the arms up all at the same time. This deserves a la la la. Go on. Oh yeah, jazz hands. That's what it deserves. Hands down. That's the way. Tuck the back toes, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Take a moment to linger here. Any movements that you know are delightful after all of that, go for it. And then when you're ready, do the same with the right leg. All right, and then make your way back into downward facing dog. That's the way. So inhale and lift the heels away from the floor. Float a little bit of weight forward. Look just beyond your fingers. And then exhale, heels back down to the floor. So again, lift the heels up. Float a little bit of weight forward so that your shoulders come over your wrists. That's the way. And then exhale, lift your bottom up. Melt the heels back to the floor. One more. Inhale, lift the heels. Float forward. And then exhale, lift your bottom up. Lower the heels. This time, lift just the heels up, pop your knees onto the floor. That's the way. Bottom back towards your heels. Child's pose. How nice does that feel? Nice. And now walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up to sit. Swing your feet around in front of you, so legs straight out in front. That's the way. Put a little bend in your knees. Bring your hands alongside your hips. And now inhale, circle the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And with bent knees, exhale and softly fold over bent knees. That's the way. Again, inhale, slide the hands all the way back. Sit up, reach up. And an exhale, over bent legs, softly down you go. One more like that, and then we'll hold for a little. So inhale all the way up. And an exhale, softly down. So we're here for about a minute. You can stay here with bent legs, enjoy, or if it feels appropriate for you, straighten your legs any amount. Or you may want to roll a blanket under your knees. Something that feels delightful for you to wind down the practice. So continue a very light Ujjayi breath in your forward fold. And as you breathe well, consciously relax and release around your inner legs now, your inner thighs. Relax the pelvic floor. Relax your belly now, so feel the belly against the thighs. And little by little, now you can start to let go of your Ujjayi pranayama. Transition to your normal relaxed breath. Consciously soften around the jaw. Soften around your shoulders. Soften, release around the back of your neck. Enjoy smooth, soft forehead. So last few breaths here. And now slowly release your hands, slide them back towards your hips as you sit up slowly. And circle the arms all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, hands to your sides, and then circle your hands to your heart. Release the hands, release the pose. Come to a comfortable seated position. So just sit for a couple of minutes before Shavasana. You may want to put on some warm clothes. So hands comfortable. You can cup your hands into your lap. Hands in a spot where your shoulders can be very free to relax. Eyes to close. Feel the spine rest back of your head rest back. Enjoy here. Just a couple of minutes. So either remain as you are seated, or you can quietly transition now to your final resting pose, Shavasana. So sweetly bring your awareness back into your space. Start to become aware of the sounds around you. Bring some light movement to your fingertips and your toes. And now slowly reach your arms overhead. Take a nice, big, well-deserved stretch along the mat. And then make your way to sit. Bring your hands to your heart. It's a light touch with the thumbs to your chest. With gratitude, take a very full, deep breath in. And with joy, smooth breath out. Thank you very much. Namaste.